yada, 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 yada. Body crazy, curvy, wavy, big podcast. Little fun. Oh no, lots of fun.
Wow.
Hello.
Lots of fun. Lots of fun, everyone.
Little podcast, big podcast, lots of fun. Yeah. Okay, listen. Hi.
Sounds like a children's birthday party that's gone awry.
Imagine Megan Thee Stallion showed up to your child's birthday party and was like, wah. Listen, it's the podcast, Is This What You Want? With Matt and Julia. I'm Julia Ladkowitz. Across from me is Matt O'Brien.
Hello.
He's my husband. He's my partner. He's my best friend.
Lame.
I love him so much. Also, listen, big deal. Today is our 14-year anniversary of dating.
Too long.
Way too long.
Way too long.
Should we end it on the podcast today?
Maybe. What an episode that would be.
Oh my God.
Our tens of listeners would go crazy.
Quit shitting on our podcast and our tens of listeners. First of all, we have hundreds.
20s of listeners.
Suck my ass.
30s? Don't you wish you were in the 1930s sometimes? Sometimes I wish I was in the 1930s.
Yeah, maybe you do.
I'd like to go back for a second, but then I'm sure I'd smell.
And then you'd go to war, and then you'd die, and you'd be like, well, this sucks.
Yeah, but more for the style. Just to wear a vest.
You can still wear a vest.
A vest and one of those pork pie hats.
I'm going to buy you a vest and a pork pie hat, and I'm going to make you wear it, and then I'm going to throw dung at you and be like, it's the 30s.
They always had dress shoes on too, no matter what they were doing. They were always walking around in
nobody's
dress
ever
pants,
wearing
dress
sneakers.
Shoes, shoveling coal.
There was never a man in the 30s wearing sweatpants with his penis nub out at the bank.
Yeah. There always seems to be a lot more mud back then. Every time you see pictures from the old times, it's the number one thing.
Nothing was paved.
Nothing was paved. But people were, the
That's
floor
why I said
was
throwing
wet.
dung, but I feel like that was more like the 1700s as a punishment.
Yeah, you're getting your timelines mixed up here. Tarred and feathered. That was still the early 1900s.
What is wrong with people where they're they were... The cruelty is astounding, and it still is. We're just doing it in different ways. But you know what? Let's not start off on that note. It's a podcast, and we're having fun. It's called Is This What You Want? It's a morning podcast. Can you imagine? We're having a coffee podcast.
It's 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or PDT.
Pacific dumb...
I still don't understand the difference between the P...
Wait, what's PST and PDT?
I don't know.
Is PDT even a thing, or did you just say that?
There's definitely a difference. Sometimes it's PST, sometimes it's P...
Oh, now Matt's sneezing.
Oh, boy. I'm at that age where when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, well, I better blow my nose 900 times, otherwise I won't be able to start my day.
Yeah, my nose is always running. Oh my gosh, three sneezes.
We're in an allergy season right now. Things are blooming. There's blooming onions all over the place.
Literally every podcast, we're it's allergy season.
Yeah, because everything gets all fucked up. Well, sometimes it's windy season, and the wind fucking blows all the junk into your schnoz.
Spring, and things are blooming, and
spring is
onions
springing.
are blooming. Can you imagine in spring blooming onions happened? Just deep fried onions started sprouting from the ground.
Ugh, that'd be nice.
Oh,
Deep fried
so
anything
nice.
from the ground, and then you eat it, and people are like, it's not good for you. And I'm like, it's natural.
Exactly.
This is organically deep fried by the earth.
It's from from the earth's crust.
Yeah, to my crust on my bloomin' onion.
We should go to Outback.
Yeah, I've been a handful of times. I remember when I worked for Apple and they sent me to Cupertino and I had a per diem.
Yeah.
And it was in the parking lot across from my hotel. And I'm like, I'm going to treat myself. And I got the nicest steak there. And I'm like, this is the worst steak anywhere else.
Well, listen, I've always had a nice time there.
It was it kind of tasted I don't know, a hospital steak.
Oh, God. Maybe that was just a bad location. Because I feel like I've been
Maybe it was a hospital.
Yeah, maybe you were at the hospital and they're like, yes, you're at an Outback.
Yeah, maybe it was an Australian-themed hospital. They should have themed hospitals to switch it up a bit.
Oh, my gosh. And yeah, you're dying and they're like, no, don't take me to the Disneyland themed one. I want to go to the
pirate themed one.
Exactly.
Davy Jones's ICU.
Yar.
You'll die with all the treasure and
you may
plunder.
die, but you'll get an eye patch and a peg leg on your way out.
That's what they do. That you die. They put a sheet over you, but then they put an eye patch on it.
That'd be kind of nice.
See?
All hospitals should have a fun theme.
Yeah.
It would make it so much less, unless you're like deathly afraid of clowns and you're like, no, I'm going to the clown hospital. You're like, I was feeling actually okay, but no.
Yeah, like Circus in Vegas. Every Vegas casino should have its corresponding hospital. Caesar's Palace, that'd be a nice hospital.
Oh yeah, I would love Caesar's Palace.
Just all the doctors in little togas
Yeah.
trying to save your life, and you're just like, well, your balls are showing.
Yeah, Circus would be by far the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Clown doctor. Oh.
Or like Paris. Wait, is the casino called Paris? Paris? Wait, what's the casino? Is there a casino?
It's just called Paris.
It's just called Paris.
Yeah.
Is there a casino attached to it? Yes, there
Of course.
is. Right.
It's Vegas.
I don't know.
There's a casino attached to 7-Elevens and gas stations down there.
And there's just French doctors. I will not treat you, you stupid bitch.
Yeah, they open your chest and then they flick a cigarette in it and go, get out of here, you fucking North American. Like, wow, this is authentic. They have to be in character the whole time.
Speaking of being in character, we're celebrating our character happy hour, which is Chappy Hour.
Wow.
I got there.
Yep. It's guess you could call it Chappy Hour. Oh, I just realized my sock's inside out. That's annoying. The outside is touching the inside. That's disgusting. Isn't that gross?
You're disgusting. It's Chappy Hour, the funnest happy hour based on the dumbest robot movie.
This
Chappy.
is I think one of the first times you've introduced it, and it's the funnest happy hour based on a robot of your choosing.
Based on a robot of your choosing. Yeah, sure. It's a. I thought the Littlest Toaster was a robot.
Yep.
I stand by that. Anyway, yeah, we're chapping some nice coffee. It's what is this? I think it's like
a bag from Costco.
Yeah, but it's like a dark blend. It's a dark roast.
Yes, it's a blend. It's a roast.
It's quite nice.
It's a bean.
I grounded it. I
grounded it.
I grounded it last night, so it was fresh for this morning. And we were doing oat milk in our coffee. And then I started like looking at all the oat milk ingredients, and so many of them have like sugars and guar gums and whatever. So I'm like,
yeah, I'm trying to lower my intake of guar gum.
Yeah, there's too much guar gum. If I know anything about me, I'm all guar gum.
There's probably a guy living in a cave deep in the forest somewhere named guar gum.
Oh yeah, there's for sure a guar gum.
No one cares for guar gum.
Yeah, and so we've just been getting some organic whole milk. It's just a splash.
What's the percentage on whole milk? It's thick, isn't it?
3%.
Okay. Wait. What was I drinking growing up? 2%?
Like my drinking milk was like usually 2%, or sometimes we'd do 1%. Which
is that kind of skim?
Skim is like nothing.
The first time I had skim, I remember going to a friend's house and they had skim only, and it was like see-through.
Yeah, it's so light.
This is disgusting. It's like puddle water.
Well, I remember even like back when I was like, I'm on a diet. I'm like, I'm 13, and I'm like, I'm gonna drink skim milk now. I'm like, get fucked.
Yeah, that'll fix everything.
And it did, but yeah. Whole milk 3%, and then half and half 10%.
I gotta pause for a second. Okay, we're back.
We're back. Matt had to stop and blow his.
I had to blow my
horn.
schnoz. I can't imagine the nose I would have if I ever did cocaine.
Yeah, you don't have a good nose for cocaine.
No, unless it would fix everything.
Imagine it fixed it.
Yeah, makes my nose better, but then...
Should we do it?
Cocaine guy.
Should we find some
I'm all
cocaine?
jittery, and I got big ideas.
What if we did cocaine for our next Chappy Hour?
I can't.
Nah, I can't.
Jeez, I can't.
I can't.
I like... In terms of like drugs and stuff like that, even those like microdose mushrooms, I still am like, oh, I have things to do in my day before I can do something like that.
Yeah.
That's why I can't like...
Nobody's doing a morning cocaine. I mean, not nobody. I'm sure a lot of people are.
Yeah, but I still value my day. So I'm always just like...
Of course.
Yeah, that's why any weed edibles we get are usually like sleepy time ones, because I'm like, I take them at the end of the day.
No, I can't take edibles
baby.
during the day. Also, I have been free of edibles for like a week, and I haven't been drinking for the past few days at all, because today, right after this podcast, I have to do my friggin' pee test. so I can get my goddamn ADHD medication. And if you remember from last podcast, I think that was stupid, was I have to fucking piss in a cup to show that I'm not on fucking. It's funny because like my ADHD meds is like an amphetamine. It's like meth. So I have to basically prove that I'm not on meth so I can get my meth.
What if you, first of all, do you think, I asked you this, but do you think someone's going to watch you do it? Like you're some sort of like a parole officer
I don't know.
style thing?
I truly don't know. And then also the lab that I'm going to, I have to get other blood work done. And they said they're like, no drug testing available for employers. I'm like, well, this isn't my employer being like, you have to do this. It's a doctor. So I'm like, if they're like, no, we don't do that here, I'll be like, well, where do I go to pee?
Who can analyze my
pee so I can get my friggin' brain meds so I can be a productive human in society?
Also, I thought it took a while for them to get the results. We were joking that it's some guy that just smells it and goes,
no, it will. I'm not going to get
drugs."
the results right then and there, Matt. You think I'm going to? That's not how it works.
Maybe. I don't know. I think we should be at that point in technology where you should be able to piss in a machine.
No, I'm going to piss in a
and the
machine.
can tell you what's up.
And then they're going to analyze it, and then they're going to send the results to my doctor. And then my doctor is either going to be like, hi, we found traces of guar gum.
You got guar gum. We can't give you pills because you have guar gum. In the future, where robots and AI are going, there is going to be a piss robot that you literally piss into, and it goes,
Thank you
for your piss. Here are your problems. You have no drugs in you.
Oh, the robot just loves it.
Yeah.
Or it just rusts him out. Poor guy.
The worst part is that robot. It's like it kneels down and opens its mouth.
No. Oh no.
Activate piss. There's going to be a lot of... I wonder if we're going to be alive for like weird robot stuff. We're almost there. There's some robots around.
Well, we were watching last night.
That's right.
And there was like... What college was it that had... It was like their commencement speech, or... They had some robot. Some weird fucking bald lady robot.
It was that lady skin one that has the exposed head. I've seen her. I don't know what her name is.
And she was giving some speech, and it was beyond terrifying.
Yeah, because they haven't mastered the facial expressions. Like they put like a human face on these robots, but then they're always just like, hello. And the eyebrows are going, we're like, I am happy to
There's
be
like
here.
a weird dent in the middle of the eyes. I'm like, oh God. And it's terrifying. So yeah, we are already witnessing scary robots.
Do you think it'll be at the point, because right now we're like, robots will never master human expressions and whatnot. Do you think it'll eventually get to the point where there's more robots than people, and then actors have to act for robots?
Oh God.
To
and it's like,
robots?
And they're like, no, too human, not robotic enough.
Hey. That's because that's an acting note, isn't it?
Yeah.
Too robotic.
Well, the robots are going to be like, well, I don't believe this person as a robot. But then they'd be like, why am I using a person instead of just a robot?
And they would call TVs flesh boxes. Let's watch the flesh box where all the flesh guys are trotting around.
Listen, we're going to be dead before any fucking robot teaches me how to act.
You're damn right. They're going to have to pray my SAG card out of my cold, dead hands. It's funny. You had an audition. You got offered an audition for like an AI company. I feel like you had a couple of these.
I've had that a couple of times, and it was actually for today. It was a commercial audition. I'm not going to name the company, A, because I forget, and B, because I forget. I don't want to do it. But it was a spokesperson. So a spokesperson role, you should always be getting money. But this was a non-union commercial for a spokesperson for this company being like, use our AI, blah, blah, blah. And like, it was such shit pay. I'm like, no, I'm not going to promote a thing being like, hey, use this so you cannot use actors in the future, basically.
It was basically like, hey, help me eat shit in my career.
Exactly. And
also, if your AI is so good, make your AI do a fucking commercial, or don't. That's actually what we're trying to stop.
Exactly. It's all. It's
very dicey. Did we talk about the music on Below Deck last week?
Well, we didn't do a podcast last week because I was in New York and Atlanta.
I just found out that our beloved show Below Deck is using AI music.
We might have talked about this 2 weeks ago, but
I don't know. But it was like jarring because you could tell because we were watching it, and then it would cut between scenes. And the song would be like, palm trees high, nice sky.
He's like,
sun
palm
is
trees
hot.
so high in the sky. boat, water.
Yeah, it was
Captain.
just like words, and it's. I'm like, man, this is very slowly, also quickly taken over. We taking over one robot at a time.
But you know what? Let's transition into something a little bit more lighthearted and with our first segment of Warm and Fuzzy.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
It's a segment where we say something that warm and fuzzy that happened.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on. Sometimes you got to reflect on something nice that happened to really appreciate life as not a robot.
Yeah.
You got to first of all, you should wake up and be like, I'm glad I'm not a robot.
I'm glad I'm not a robot. I'm glad the robots haven't taken over yet. So
Yep.
what are you going to do in this robot-free world right now?
Here's the
That's
thing.
going to make you happy.
By saying that, it's possible robots already have taken over. Because to truly take over, sometimes it's like you do it
Behind the
without even
scenes.
people noticing.
Honestly. That's literally our whole relationship. I have taken over. I have molded you into the man I want you to be.
Oh my God.
And you don't even know it until right now because I told you.
She keeps my penis in formaldehyde next to the bed. There's a formaldehyde jar. And
that wouldn't be me operating behind the scenes. That would be me removing your penis and putting it in formaldehyde.
That's pretty in front of the scenes, actually. That's not behind at all.
No.
This is what you get with a morning podcast. So what? Warm and fuzzy. I mean,
let me talk.
uh-huh.
You're like, what has happened? Meanwhile, I've literally been in Atlanta, New York, and all these warm and fuzzy things happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's okay. You just said yours.
No. So I did a comedy festival in Atlanta, which, listen, the festival itself was fine, but I did meet some really lovely people, and that was warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
And but then I bopped over to New York and stayed with a beloved power listener, Christina Walkinshaw, and we just had a lovely time. She's just a fun gal, and we romped around town. And I say this every time. We say this when we go to Vegas. I don't know. I get so excited when I'm on these trips, and I just go fucking gangbusters. And I don't even think that I'm going that hard. It's not like I'm doing shots. It's not like I'm doing whatever. But like, I'm just not stopping. And it's like you're seeing friends, and you're having a wine here, and then you're going to a happy hour there, and then you're all of a sudden you're like, I'm a shell of a human. But
well, I realized that when you were gone, because I'm like, every time I'm on a trip like that, I'm like, there's a point where I feel sick and weird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I've eaten some weird stuff, and I've, had a couple of beers, and I'm like, I did that here. I ate like kind of garbage one night, and then woke up the next day. I'm like, I didn't even like drink last night. I feel like gross, and it's just like, but you do that all the time when you're traveling.
Yeah.
And you're just like, that's
and then it just adds up, and not sleeping. Like there was
gotta have like a pocket full of broccoli or something to.
Well, I had these like
some
greens
fiber.
powders, but I was like, no, I should have bought some bananas or something.
Maybe fiber would help. Maybe we got to be Metamucil while
No,
we're traveling.
that's bullshit. That's actually bad.
Last time I took Metamucil, let me tell you, the dump
wanna know.
I took, I was jarring. It was like
This is warm and fuzzy, not hot dump.
Can't
express.
believe this is coming out of me
I'm so sorry to everybody listening.
like a tail.
Ew. Listen, this is my warm and fuzzy, and you're usurping it with your hot dump stories. Listen.
Oh, it's not hot.
So, Atlanta. So, the last day in Atlanta, we ended up going to some strip club attached to the Hotel Claremont where we were staying, and they employ like older strippers and more like fucking edgy, not edgy, but like more, it almost reminds me of like almost like a Jumbo's Clown Room vibe, but like older women.
Jumbo's Clown Room is in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and it's like an alternative strip club. Yeah, but these like some of them were showing like full puss. They'd be like, "Here's a bit of puss," and they're bending over, and I threw dollars, and I got some into someone's panties, and that was fun. And I was there till like 3:30 in the morning, and then my flight, I had to wake up at 6 a.m. the next day. Also, I'm sleeping in bunk beds with these. Oh God. Anyway, it was very warm and fuzzy seeing Christina, and also my friend Casey, I think I had mentioned 2 podcasts ago, happened to be in New York.
Yeah. Casey
around like those exact dates, and so we got to hang out, and we had such a fun night one night. So like it was such a fun night, but then the next day I felt so horrible, but it was worth it. So I met up with Casey. We went to this bar called Bar Juliet,
Yeah.
and we sat at the bar and we had oysters and and truffle fries and prosecco, and it was so perfect. And then we had this little bartender named Tanner, and he was just kind of like a little dweeby, nerdy
Little blonde guy. I picture a little blonde guy.
I mean, he was like dirty blonde, and I think he was like from the Midwest, maybe, and just like he reminded me of oh, you know the guy in the road trip movies?
Oh, the little like sickly looking guy?
Yeah, the little sickly looking one. He looked like that.
Interesting.
And he found out I was a comedian, and he's like, I mentioned one of my shows. He's like, I'm going to try to come. And we're like, sure. So anyway, Casey and I had a few drinks there, and then we went to a brewery, had a drink there. We went to some other place called the Rusty Face in New York.
Worst name.
But apparently it's like this beautiful little tapas place, but they call it the Rusty Face because when they got it, there was so much rust on the door. And they're like, that is the face, so it's a rusty face.
That's like an insult to a one robot would say to another.
Yeah, you old
You old
face.
rusty face. How dare you?
How dare you? I do not have the means to polish my face.
Also, I do not have the means to get angry. Thank you.
Yeah, we had like calamari and mussels and then more wine. And then I did my show and Casey came with me. And then I got back to Christina's and we had like a nightcap, a couple glasses of wine there. And we watched Sex in the City. I forgot. We watched it from the beginning. We watched a few episodes. I forgot how fucking good that show is.
Listen, I remember, in my early 20s, I was dating a girl. Can you believe it? No, I was like 19, actually. And I remember
Disgusting.
I was visiting her in Ottawa. That's where she went to school. And one morning she was like watching Sex and the City. I was like...
Isn't it weird that if you were 19, I was 16?
That's weird.
Gross.
But then I was just like, I don't want to... It was like a morning thing. And I was like, I don't want to watch this. And then I could not stop watching it. It was just like, it's a good show.
It hooks you. I had seen episodes here and there and I realized I'm like, I haven't seen as much of this as I thought. And I was just drinking wine with Christina in bed, watching Sex and the City, having a great time. And then, of course, like we stayed up till like 1. She had to leave to Vegas the next day for a wedding. I woke up the next day and I was like, oh, I felt like depressed. I was like,
it's a lot of things.
I had so much like weird seafood the night before and so much wine. And I've just been go. And I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I just like laid around in bed and then I took myself out for breakfast and then I almost shit my pants, so I had to run home.
That's your story. If you ever write a book, it's going to be called I Almost Shit My Pants on the Walk Home.
Yeah.
You have 800 stories of
Oh my
that.
God. And then walking up, Christina's like, literally there's 12 flights of stairs. She's on the 6th floor, but there's 12. I counted them. There's 12 flights.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised I didn't squidge some out.
Squidge some out, she says.
Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, it was
like a Metamucil tale.
just the whole, it was very fun. And then Tanner, that bartender, ended up coming to one of my shows.
Did he? Did he laugh? Did he heckle? I'm helping.
Oh my God. He sat front row.
Uh-oh.
And I was just like, and I'm looking, and it's a tiny club. It was a New York Comedy Club. I'm like, oh God. So I didn't make eye contact with him the whole time because I just didn't want it to be like, I'm like, I only have a certain amount of time. This is my first time at this club. I don't want to start talking to me like, I know this guy. But I started doing my joke about wine. I'm like, I drank too much. I like wine, blah, blah, blah. And then I just hear him lean over to his friend and go, she likes Prosecco. I'm like, okay.
Well, you're already quite known in the New York region.
So yeah, it was warm and fuzzy, having like a girlfriend time. And Christina's friend, Teresa, got to spend time with her. She's just so lovely. And yeah, it was warm and fuzzy. Matt, what's warm and fuzzy for you?
Well, we had quite the opposite week because I was literally by myself at home all week.
Wait, can we pause for a second?
Yeah.
I have to use the toilet.
Uh-oh. Well, Julia's back from the toilet. This has been quite
I was fast.
Yeah, this has been quite the episode of...
Emptying our holes.
Emptying our top and bottom holes. We were about to get to my warm and fuzzy, and I think it has to start with you currently blasting yourself in the toilet. The worst about having a bidet is hearing the other person just absolutely hose their anus off.
I think I tweeted that a while ago. I was like, oh, the sounds of my husband bidetting his ass in the morning.
It's loud and aggressive. It sounds like you're washing a dog. It's it's a lot. It's a lot of spray. And I tell you, I did not have a lot of spray with my mouth talking to people last week.
Boy, who are you, me?
Because, while you were away, I was, just kind of stewing in my juices at home. And I'm glad I did, because this week's been a little busy.
Yeah, it's been quite busy for you.
What's making me feel warm? I mean, we went to another live taping of Frasier.
Oh my gosh, how could I forget?
That was exciting. That was very nice. And then just lovely, because main reason, our friend Jessa Ligera is one of the cast, and then she obviously hooked us up. We were hanging out with her boyfriend in the audience. It was a long taping. I don't remember it being that long. It was like 5 hours.
I feel like it maybe was usually kind of as long, but the first time we went, and also it's in on a different stage now, and it's basically twice, the audience is twice the size. So the first time we went, like, I was so jacked that, and he was like really trying to hype up the crowd.
The audience warm-up guy,
sorry. I felt like it was a concert. I felt like I was on drugs. I was like, the whole time, like cheering, shouting. That's when we won that piece of the set. Like, it was crazy. And this time felt just like, don't get me wrong, the taping was still great and amazing, but with that many people, it's almost like a comedy club. It's like when it's a bigger venue, sometimes it's not as intimate and it doesn't feel as like ruckus.
Yeah, there was not a lot of ruckus at the Frasier taping. But it was so much fun, and then we got to go backstage. And the craziest part was people like remembered us and recognized us, because like two psychopaths, we added everyone from the cast on Instagram, all the producers, and that was like a year ago. And so enough time has passed where they've seen our posts, I guess, and people were like, Matt and Julia.
And they're like, Matt and Julia. Matt O'Brien and Julia. I'm like, yes.
And these are like the creators of Frasier and like the cast members. And like, so we were just kind of hanging out. And I remember the first time we went backstage, I was so uncomfortable. I was like, oh my God, these people are so important.
Yeah.
And then we were hanging out this time, and I'm like, we're part of the cast.
I know. I'm like, I belong here. And they're probably like, why do these people keep coming?
Yeah. Why is that guy drinking all of our beers? Why is she drinking all of our Prosecco?
It was champagne.
It was really nice.
It was really nice champagne. And we met Perry Gilpin. Roz.
Perry Gilpin, who is just the loveliest.
And also remembered us. And she was like, I guess it was her husband that she's with. She's like, this is the couple who like remade Frasier episodes during the pandemic. Yeah. And like she remembered us.
What a weird... I would never think that would come to this. When we were like first deciding to like remake Frasier scenes, I would never be like... Yes, the cast members will quite enjoy this, and they'll remember us for years.
And that's a good reminder to like do what you love and do what makes you happy, and not expect something from it. Like obviously, like like have goals and whatever, but you can't be like, well, I'm only doing this so I can get this. Yeah, it's like no, do it because
people can tell when you're like clearly just doing something for a certain reason.
Yeah,
I had a producer. Told me, because he was talking to me about my little videos online. He's like, what's the end goal? He's like, what are you doing with these videos? And I'm like, I don't know. I just like doing them. And he goes, that's the right answer. Just do it because you love it.
Yeah.
And something will come of it. And that's a great example. It was quite nice.
It was very warm and fuzzy.
Meeting Perry Gilpin was, she just is so familiar too.
Yeah, because we like literally have watched hours and hours and hours of this woman's face.
Also, her hair was lovely.
Oh my God,
we like
so
both
nice.
hugged her, and my face went into her hair, and I was like, I am home.
Yeah,
I belong. I want to live in Perry Gilpin's hair.
Well, now that we've had this, like,
I think we have to wrap it up actually, because
really?
I have to go in multiple ways.
What are the other ways? Toilet is one.
Toilet, and also I got to get my day started.
Well, we didn't do. Well, that was stupid. Or
guess what? Nothing stupid happened this week. Focus on the good. That's the lesson from this week's podcast.
Okay, this week we focus on the good. Matt, where can they find you?
Just Matt O'Brien on Instagram. Also, listen, I am doing an album recording at Dynasty Typewriter here in Los Angeles, July 9th. Tickets are not on sale yet, but mark it in your calendar.
Yeah.
And if you're like, I've always wanted to go to Los Angeles, can you please make July 9th one of those days and tell everyone you know to come? Because I'm kind of freaking out. I'm having a lot of diarrhea about it, but I think it's going to be good. I think I can sell tickets.
You
I
can.
think it's going to be great.
You're going to be great. You're going to be amazing, and I'm so pumped for you.
It's called King of Kirkland. It's at Dynasty Typewriter, July 9th. Mark it down. I'll let you know when tickets are on sale. I'll post it on my link tree, Matt O'Brien on Instagram. Where about you?
Well, you can find me Julia Comedy on Instagram, and here's also follow me on OnlyFans, Julia Comedy. There's there's a guy who listens to this podcast who follows me on OnlyFans and messaged me on OnlyFans.
Creamsicle or something?
I think it's Sexicle.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
a sexy icicle or a sexy popsicle, I guess.
I don't know the man's name.
Maybe he lives in like the Arctic or something.
Maybe. No, I think he said he lives in BC.
Okay,
Anyway,
that's kind of cold.
But don't worry, I'm not like doxing this man right now. It's not like
we'll dox him.
No, I'm just saying because I don't know anything about. Anyway, but he's like, I'm a big fan of you and Matt, so that was nice.
Hi ho.
But yeah, if you're I'm going to be in Wilmington, North Carolina.
One of the best clubs in the country.
At Dead Crow, July 8th and 9th. And yeah, there's 2 shows per night. So if you're in the North Carolina area, come see me.
It's a big area.
Yeah, I know. But like if you're near Wilmington,
yes.
Yeah, Dead Crow, the ticket link is up now. And
you're going to have so much fun.
I'm
Such
so
a cute
excited.
town.
I'm so excited.
I love it.
I love it. And we love you. And we'll be back with a bigger, better, longer, faster, harder podcast next week.
Fast. Okay.
So fast.
Bye.
Is this what you want with Matt and Julia? Is this what you want with Matt and Julia? Is this what you want?